B-boy. From the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy.
This week, we're heading to Long Island to talk about a man who completely changed the game when it comes to lyrics. Rhyming internal words, not just the last word of each line. His rhyme patterns seemed above that of any normal man. And you could say this man was a god MC. Hip hop wasn't the same after he touched a mic. This week, top 10 Rakim songs. It can be with or without Eric B. They all count. Joining me, as always, Raven Hunter's in the house. My man Roderik's back. And after a long absence, I don't even know how long, Surreal the MC's back on the roundtable. Great to have you back.
Too long.
Too long, right. All right, I will start us off at number 10, and I'm going to the 1990 album, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, and I'm going with the song Run for Cover. Now, out of the four Eric B albums, this is definitely always was and still is my least favorite, but I did always really love Run for Cover. And it's just Rakim being Rakim, and I really wanted to rep this album, not completely leave it off. So I snuck this on here. But it starts with these gunshots, then dope scratching of Run DMC in there. The run. The drums are kind of interesting on this. It's always sounded to me like he was hitting a metal garbage can, and maybe they were. But I don't mean that in a dissing way. I just it's unique sound to me. But when the R's on the mic, Run for Cover. So Run for Cover was my number 10. Roderik, you're up at 10.
My number 10 is My Melody. This came out first on the B side of the single of Eric B's President in 1986, and then it came out on the first album, Paid in Full. What for me, I was 13 years old. I lived in Montreal, and I used to go visit my family in New York. And that song, his voice, that distorted like 80s voice where the recording wasn't really that good or something, but it really represented, because that was on the radio, that was on WBLS, KISS, that was like in people's cars. It was just like a sound that was like New York to me. But for me, that was just for that reason alone. I don't even really remember the lyrics too much, but just the beat and his voice, that's why it's my number 10.
Right. It hurt me not to put it on my list. That was an honorable mention. I was hoping someone would pick it because it's so iconic, but I could have had all 10 picks just be from Paid in Full and Follow the Leader and been able to defend that stance. I mean, those fucking albums are so great. Oh, I'm glad that got picked already. Raven, what's your number 10?
Number 10. I went to 1987's Paid in Full. I went with I Ain't No Joke. Great scratching, really fun vibe. Just for him, just going off in that one. Eric, like hell on that beat. Ain't No Joke was always a standout for me. It's really hard to pick a standout from that album. And first, there's so many standout songs on that album, but I had to start with I Ain't No Joke.
And like I always say, starting an album strong. That's the first track on that record, and it's just so fucking great. I'm sure that song will get brought up again. Will it get brought up at number 10 from Surreal?
Oh man, yeah, this was a really hard list to make, like everybody's saying. My number 10 was from the 18th Letter album, the track The 18th Letter, Always and Forever. Rakim's one of those artists where I kind of remember where I was when all the albums were dropped and all the releases, and it was just a time in my life when that 18th Letter came out. It kind of just I was listening to a lot of, I kind of went through a phase where I was listening to a lot of righteous music, and then I was listening to a lot of like just out there music, and it kind of like reeled me back in when that release dropped. So it kind of holds a special place with me.
And that whole album held up really well, I thought. It's almost 30 years,
yeah,
which is
sure
crazy. Yes,
sure
such a great record. All right, we are to number 9, and I'm going to the year 1999 with The Master. And before I tell you my song, if people can explain to me, so this image always confused me. If people are listening, just look up the inner notes, but it's like mannequins kind of dressed up. I don't know what that has to do with Rakim, but When I Be on the Mic is my song I'm picking from The Master. This is the last Rakim album that I really liked as a whole. Once you got the Seventh Seal, and even the newest one from last year, I'm kind of I think it has too many features. It's more like a compilation. But the master still is really good to me. DJ Premier on the beat. I mean, can never go wrong with Primo. Super dope scratching on the hook. Rakim brings it like only he can. And, this is right in the era of jiggy rap, all that. And Rakim just comes with Primo and just kills it. And there's this breakdown in the middle of the second verse where the beat drops and it's just scratching. And Rakim says something about, I should wrote it down. Oh, scratching behind my back and the beat drops and it's just perfectly done. So When I Be on the Mic is my number 9. What about you, Roderick?
For me, my number 9 is Paid in Full. Rakim has a certain style to him it's like a specific lane. He's not jumping out that lane too much. So with that one, I actually went with the remix, the UK remix, done by Cold Cut. They were a duo, and they did whatever they did in the UK. And that version in the video, they have a bunch of samples. They got Humphrey Bogart. They have some Middle Eastern singing in there. The video's dope. It's got like Rakim and rapping, but it's got all these little clips of the samples that they're using. I went with that one because it actually brought it to life for people, because the 80s was like dancing and all that kind of stuff. So it really added another niche for Rakim in a whole nother part of the world. So I like that one. I was in Canada at the time, but yeah, I like that one. That's my number 10.
That
And
remix made some soundtracks too, if I
it
remember
was
right.
on the Colors soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah, when you re-listen to it, like you said, all those elements that are in it that don't seem like they should all be together, but
Yeah.
but it works. It's just like they randomly picked sound samples, but
Yeah.
you're still rocking along to it.
And when they and the whole pump up the volume, that's like
Mhm.
forever. You hear pump up the volume. You don't even think of Rakim. That's such a big
It's like DOC, y'all ready for this? It's
Right. It
there's just those
transcends.
things, yeah.
Right.
exactly.
Raven, what did you pick at 9?
So number 9, I went to what is my favorite album from Rakim. 1997 is the 18th Letter. Man, that album is so good. I went with The Mystery, Who Is God? Because man, I love the beat of that, and it's done in such a way, the way Rakim is just bringing the wordplay in this shit, and it's very intelligent, very knowledgeable. It's like Steiner math. It makes sense if you just kind of listen to it. You know what I mean? But it's just such a good vibe to that song, and I didn't think anybody else would bring it up, so I really want to talk about it for a minute. I remember when it came out, and I loved it because I was a big fan of Rakim. I'm an East Coast kid, but then you put it away and you forget about shit, and then it's like the other day I'm riding around listening to this album on repeat, and I find myself tearing up because it's like what made me fall in love with fucking hip hop. This album is so perfect, even with the skits. Just everything about that album is just perfect.
Yeah, it's a good record, and he proved he could do it without Eric, because I know that was some of the talk. Like,
Yeah, he killed it. That was, in my opinion, some of his best work. He sounded hungriest just because he needed to be accepted again, I think. But
right, and had to prove himself.
What year did that one come out?
97. That was the first one without Eric. We're still on 9, Surreal.
My number 9 from Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, In the Ghetto. Just a real the like it's just real soulful. And then obviously Rakim's mentioned in the top MCs of all time, but storytelling, when people say Cube or Slick Rick, but Rakim's up there with storytelling too. I'd put him high on that list. So
And that was an honorable mention. And I
yeah.
believe it was a single. I'm 95% sure it was one of the singles off that.
Yeah, I think Yo MTV Raps had the video for a little bit too, if I remember. I'll have to look that up.
That
But I
could
think
be.
you're right. Yeah.
I think the video for that song, it kind of gives me the Brenda's Got a Baby vibes.
Yes.
Whoever
Yeah.
produced that one, I think produced that with he had his shirt off, he was sitting on the bed, he was telling the story. So I really like that one. That was on my honorable mentions also.
All right, number 8. And I'm going to 1992's Don't Sweat the Technique. But I'm going with Casualties of War. I loved it. When this album came out, Casualties of War, I just loved. I thought it was so cool how he was painting a picture of a veteran and talk about storytelling. I mean, you feel like you're there. And when he's talking about things like if a car backfires, it makes him jump, and half of his platoon came home in coffins. This was the first time I really remember hearing a rapper really paint a picture from the side of the veteran who came back from war. And I just thought he did it great. I loved it as a kid in 92, and I still think it's really, really dope. And solid beat by Eric B. And talk about videos, very memorable video. It goes between them dressed in fatigues and then videos of soldiers in war. And this is 92, so Desert Storm is going on. So it was relevant for the time. And it hit me back in the day and it still hit me. Just the way he describes little things, how it affected his life, being a veteran. So, casualties of war, don't sweat the technique. Roderick, what's your number 8?
I think we're on to something. I think Rakim is just a great storyteller because my number 8, I actually never even heard this song until I started doing the research. So this one got thrown in there. This came out in 2010, and it's called Document of a Gangster. It's on the Seventh Seal
Seventh Seal.
album, his
Yep.
third solo album, featuring IQ. I don't know who that is. It's a song about a gangster, and the way Rakim is rapping on this track in 2010, it showed me that he could still keep it Rakim and still, but deviate a little bit and kind of, he was riding that beat. I mean, the way he was rapping on the beat and the way he was telling the story, I like the beat. I like the way the hook was, and I like the way he was rapping on that. So for me, that's my number 8 is Document of a Gangster.
And Seventh Seal gets some love. I didn't have anything from that record, just an honorable mention, but yeah.
Listen to that one, and just get back to me on that. Tell me what you really think. But
No, there's no doubt he's one of the best for a reason. Raven, what's your number 8?
Number 8. I went to 1988's Follow the Leader. And I went with Follow the Leader. I think it's just a really great opening song. It's real hype. The flow and the feel of it's real dope. Yeah, the Follow the Leader album is probably my favorite album from them together, for sure. And yeah, that song, I love that whole. It's real hype. It gets me hype when I listen to Follow the Leader.
Number 8. Wow.
There's so much that I love from solo work.
Surreal, what's your number 8?
My number 8's from
Follow
Don't
the
Sweat
Leader?
the Technique, the track Don't Sweat the Technique. And everything he says in that song's a quotable the whole way through. That's really all. It's amazing.
Yeah, that
Just
was
leave
an
it at that.
honorable mention. So
Yeah.
many of these Rakim songs have classic lines that have been just become, sample in other people's music, just repeated. Just so many lines. You're like, oh shit, this song has like 10 classic lines that are still, being repeated today. Yeah, that was an honorable mention. Another one that hurt me not to put on. There's so much good shit. All right, for the first time at number 7, I'm going to 1987's Paid in Full, their first record. And I'm going with Eric B for President, the one that started it all. The one on the album is technically a remix. It's really more like a remake with better
Oh, that's
sound
right.
quality. The original 12-inch before, I mean, it sounds like he's rapping in a cavern. It's just really echoey, and it was just low budget. So I think when they did the record, they re-recorded it. But no matter what version, it's groundbreaking. It's iconic. It's historical. The beat is so classic. The scratching, Rakim killing it on the mic, and like we just talked about, so many classic lines, and just the cultural impact alone, I felt made this should be on the list. It knocked a few others off because of its importance to the culture. So Eric B for president, number 7. Roderick, what about you at 7?
I'm going to agree with you 100% on that, Chris. I got Eric B as president for my number 7. I'm going to piggyback off of some things. So that I like the distorted one, that old distorted 86. That's how I know Rakim. Like that's how I was introduced to him. So that voice is the beginning for me. You know what I mean? So I like the original version. Couple verses. One of the verses that stuck in my mind is, you thought I was a donut. You tried to glaze me. That could mean a lot of things, but I remember that one. And then the main one is I came in the door, I said it before, I never let the mic magnetize me
No more.
before.
No
No
more.
more, right?
Yeah.
So I don't get that. That's one thing. When I heard it when I was young, I was like 13 years old. Whatever, it sounds good. But when I listened to it and I read it, and I was like, what does that mean? Never let the mic magnetize me no more. Like, I thought you want the mic to magnetize you, but he's saying it
Yes,
doesn't.
I never thought about it deeply like that.
You know what I mean? It's like I never let the mic magnetize me no more. I thought it does magnetize you. But anyways, so that's my number 7. Just like you, Chris, Eric B is president. Let's get it.
So many great lines. Raven, what's your number 7?
Eric B for president, number 7. It started it all. It has that perfect flow, perfect beat, and like y'all already said, every line from that song is quotable. It's been in another song somewhere, or another rapper, probably Jay-Z has already said it. You know what I mean?
That's another topic. How many lines did Jay-Z steal from other rappers? All right, we're still on 7. Surreal.
From Follow the Leader, Microphone Fiend. I mean, I was a fiend before. I mean, if you've ever been an artist or a DJ, an MC, in a rock band, if you've been on both sides of the industry, it's super relatable, especially if you grew up with music. And I don't know, that it's one of those that kind of gives me goosebumps when I listen to it.
All right, we are on number 6, and for the first time, I'm going to his first non-Eric album, 97's 18th Letter, and I'm going with the song It's Been a Long Time. It was a single off it. You got again Premier on the beat. Those two work so well together. Hearing these primo beats with Rakim, I was thinking, imagine if we got a whole album of Primo and Rakim, kind of like a Premier did with Royce, or even Gangstar, right? Could you imagine that? That shit would be so dope. Fresh scratching on the hook, real boom bap, hip hop sound. And the deluxe version of this album was actually kind of cool. The second disc was the greatest hits of those first 4 Eric B albums. So you got his new record and you got the hits from before with Eric. I love the line where he goes, I came in the door, said it before, but I ain't down with Eric B no more. That always made me kind of smirk. So it's been a long time. Damn, Primo. Primo's the best producer ever. I'm just saying it. That's my number 6, Roderick.
Now, my number 6 is New York. You Out There,
So
off the 18th Letter album, 97. So back to what you're saying, imagine if there was a whole album with DJ Premier and Rakim, but this is produced by DJ Premier. This is a straight up a New York, even talks about, in the song, are you born in New York? It's like, this is New York, New York. This is, he brings you into the trains, into the boroughs. He gives you that feeling. When I think of hip hop, I think of New York. And that really is the feel. And that came out in 97. I didn't hear that till much later. I thought it came out later than 97 because it felt like it had more of an appeal that was more, maybe early 2000s. But I really like the feel of it. And so that is my number 6 is New York, 18th Letter. Let's get it.
I'm glad someone else picked that. That will be brought up again later. One of the best love letters to New York City, I thought. Raven, what's your number 6?
I went back to 88's Father Leader with Lyrics of Fury. Man, I love that flow. I love that beat. What do you say? Friday the 13th, walking down Elm Street, you come in my realm, you getting beat. Like, it just, that whole track is just hard as fuck. I love that shit.
Another honorable mention. That was another one that hurt me. I mean, he just murders that. He just, that flow. So
It just
damn
goes
good.
off. Both of those verses just goes off.
Right. And I kind of like what you said. Follow the Leader is probably my favorite. Even non-Eric B ones, I think that's my favorite. Number 6 yet. Surreal.
Off 18th Letter, It's Been a Long Time was my number 6, and I
Nice.
made a note that Primo produced it. It had that, it has that Primo, like, J. Rue the Damager group home feel. Like, Primo pretty much sticks to the script, but every once in a while he'll produce something where you're like, oh, that was him. But That definitely the premier Rakim team up was undeniable.
All right, we're to the halfway mark, and I'm gonna take us back to if I can find it here, the debut, 1987's Paid in Full. I ain't no joke. I mean, from the beginning, clap of the beat, right? And then Rakim comes in as the rest of the elements of the beat come in, and just I ain't no joke. He says the mic smoke, and it's just it hooks you instantly. And this is the first song, the first seconds hook you. It was the second single off the album. Dope beat by Eric B. The scratching again, really great. Rakim just so good. And again, so many memorable and iconic lines. And this is the first video I ever remember seeing of Eric B. and Rakim. And maybe it stuck in my brain because Flava Flav was in it, dancing like
Oh
only
yeah,
Flava Flav can. So this video always sticks in my head, I think because of the Flava element. But, remember me, the one you got your idea from? I mean, one of them, like, just like manliest,
yeah.
cockiest things you could ever say to
I
someone.
know it gets me kind of high. I'm getting kind of hyped
Right?
up thinking about it.
Yeah, just that line is just so damn good. And or when he references the My Melody line, or you'll be one of those seven MCs, and it's like he's referring to a different song on the album where he says I take a seven MCs line. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
next level shit. The more I talk about it, the more I think it should be number one because it's just so good. But it slid to five. I ain't no joke. Roderick, what's your number five?
My number five, like my man over here, Surreal the MC, said and talked about. And after 12, I'm worse than the gremlin. Feed me hip hop and I start trembling.
Trembling.
So my microphone fiend from Follow the Leader, 1988, just talks about being a fiend, a microphone fiend, compares it to being addicted to heroin. And everybody remembers the movie Gremlins. So that's a hard line right there. Feed me hip hop and I start trembling. So that's my number five, microphone fiend.
Yeah, honorable mention. I'm glad these honorable mentions are making people's list. And like you said, that was the line probably that always stuck out to me. The Gremlin reference. We're on five yet, Raven?
Yeah, so man, I'm almost embarrassed to say this now.
You should
Because
be.
I
Should be.
I really didn't like Primo's beat for It's Been a Long Time.
What?
I prefer the Suave House remix. Um,
What?
it's mixed out by Mo Suave.
That
And
is dope too.
it changes the whole fucking vibe of the song. Like, I don't dislike Primo's beat. I love It's Been a Long Time, and for most of the time I've been writing this list, just It's Been a Long Time was my pick. But the more I listened to the Suave House remix, the more that darker southern feel behind Rakim's vocals for some reason just it resonates with I guess that horrorcore kid in me. But man, I just like how dark that song feels and gloomy as opposed to the standard more uppity triumphant version.
Surreal, what's your number five?
I'm copying your homework again. Off Paid in Full. I ain't no joke, and you pretty much covered it. Dope track.
All right, well then I'll move right into number four. And I'm going back to the 18th letter. Such a great song. And I'm going New York. Yeah, out there. I mean, from the beginning clip of if you're born in New York City, and it's just a perfect NYC anthem. We talked about it, Primo again. And Rakim just paints a perfect picture of life in the city. It's just, I think, done so well. I think it's my favorite, at least, song talking about New York. I couldn't get enough of this song. It at first wasn't even on my list. And every time I listen to 18th Letter, I'm like, that song's so goddamn great. I gotta put it on. And it went from literally 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 all the way to 4 before it got stopped. But New York, you out there. If anyone listening hasn't heard that or doesn't remember that song, check it out. It is done so damn well. What's number four for you, Roderick?
Number four for me is I don't know who mentioned it, but it's Don't Sweat the Technique. The song Don't Sweat the Technique came out in 92. So for me, this is like one of the songs that really let us know that he could survive in the 90s. Not a lot of people made it from the 80s to the 90s. So he was able to get there and get there in a good way. So he kept his style. What I noticed with Rakim is that he's a lyrical god. He could rap, But if the beat is not there, people are not really gonna check for him like that. So that beat, the horns, all that stuff for this song really, and it was a faster tempo. So I really was really happy to hear when I heard it back in the 90s, like, oh shit, Rakim's still coming with it. So for me, Don't Sweat the Technique, number 4.
Raven, what's your number 4?
I mean, before I was a teen, I became a fiend. Um,
Microphone fiend?
I had to be a microphone fiend. I grabbed the microphone instead of cones of ice cream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's such a fucking monumental song for hip hop, in my opinion. The beat, the flow. I run a lids and it still plays every day on our radio, and I still get so fucking hype and turn the radio up every day it comes on. Like it's just such a quotable, like line for line song.
Number 4 for you, Surreal.
My number 4 was a song that wasn't even on my list. And then when, like you go through the records and then you go through again. And then, so from Paid in Full, the title track, Paid in Full, I've had everything Rakim's ever put out, like every single and soundtrack. But like, there's certain tracks you don't, when it like first drops, you may not pay as much attention to. And this is one of them. I went back, I was like, wow, it's got the old school feel, but it still holds its own. Another thing too is Rakim's autobiography is one of the best books, like autobiographies from MCs, musicians, poets. Like I actually read it twice. It's really good, and it mentions Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm from, and then Omaha never gets mentioned. So that was cool too.
I'm glad you brought that up. I've read that book. It's really, it is. It's one of the top, 3-5 rapper biographies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there. If anyone's read, like, the Scarface one is really good. And I'm partial to Ice-T's autobiography.
Everything Chuck D,
right.
Sorry to interrupt.
But that Rakim one is really good. I'm glad you brought that book up. Well, we are to the top 3. And for the third time, I'm going to 1987's Paid in Full, but I'm kind of really going to 1988's Colors soundtrack, Paid in Full, that remix. You hit a lot of it, Roderik, but just from the beginning, like the British accent, this is the journey into sound. And then just crazy elements everywhere. It's just, from voice samples to the beat to news bulletins to that woman singing and, oh my gosh, the music turns me on. And just all these things on paper that should not be together, but it works. So you're hearing all these crazy elements and then thinking of a master plan, and nothing but sweat inside my hand. And it's just like, it has you hooked. It's so great. This remix is like 7 minutes long. It was on the Colors soundtrack, but it's just so damn good. I used to roll up. This is a hold up. That type of internal rhyme just wasn't being seen in this era. It was so revolutionary. You got to look at it in context. In 1987, people weren't doing very complicated rhyme schemes. I mean, there was some lyricism, but he literally changed the art of emceeing. He took the bar and said, no, it can be this high, not just this high. And he was showing that in Paid in Full. So that was my number 3. Roderik, what's your 3?
I gotta just finish that lyric. Ain't nothing moved but nothing moved but the money. Like nobody moved, just the money. Like it was. I like that verse. I want to say 2 things before I get to my number 3. But should I say those 2 things at the end or should I say it now?
Whatever you want to do.
All right. So I don't know if you ever heard, but Snoop was talking to Will Smith about his Summertime song. And Snoop said to Will Smith, hey, when I heard that song, I heard Rakim. Like I heard Rakim's style of rap. Did you take that from Rakim? He said, I absolutely did. And when I heard that song again, if you listen to it, he's rapping just like Rakim on Summertime. So that was huge because I didn't even know or see that or hear that.
Like Rakim wrote it?
No. Like I admire Rakim.
Right. He's just in the style of, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to write in his way of rapping. And he did that in Summertime. And then you hear it. You'll hear Rakim.
Right.
So that was a big deal.
Interesting.
Second thing is, I'm going to say I'm embarrassed that I did not know that Rakim was from Long Island, New York. I knew he was from New York, but that explains why Flavor Flav and Chuck D are in the video because they're from Long Island.
Right. That's true.
So that made sense. So I just learned that on the show today. So my number 3 is Move the Crowd. So that came off of the Paid in Full in 1987. What I really like about this song is, first of all, the beat doesn't drop until 20 seconds in. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
You don't even know what's coming.
Right.
And then it drops. But it's this smooth. Okay, so Rakim is good on those fast beats in the 90s that really, but this slow ass beat really like shows like it really is perfect for Rakim. Perfect. Slow beat. All you're gonna hear is my voice, my vocals, my rhymes. So I like it. And I like the scratch. Move the crowd. The scratching. Anything with scratching, you got me.
Right.
So I like that. It was really laid back. It was slow. It really it added more impact with the way he flows, and this beat really complimented him on the track. So that's why that's my number 3.
Another honorable mention. I could have put all of Paid in Full probably as honorable mentions just for their iconic, Raven, number 3.
Number 3, I went to 1991 to the Juice soundtrack to a song called Know the Ledge, Juice. Man, it was produced by Rakim. And it's such a dope story. It's this first person view of just being this criminal. It's this hard fucking flow, perfect flow from Rakim. Juice had a lot of great hip hop songs on it. Just speaking of good hip hop soundtracks, but yeah, as soon as you told me we were doing Rakim, this song was already like teetering. I knew I had to get it in there somewhere. I didn't realize I was gonna have it so high until like this morning, but definitely Juice.
Yeah, talk about that soundtrack. I think when we did top 10 soundtracks, I know it would have made mine. I'm
Definitely.
sure it would have. So many great. And the odd thing is, that's a movie starring Tupac, but there's no Tupac song on it. Number 2. For the first time, I'm going to 1988's Follow the Leader, my favorite album. And if it's my favorite album, why is it only being brought up like once now? Because there's so many great Rakim songs. But it's the title track, Follow the Leader. Holy shit, this is next level. What a way to start off their second album. It's like this song comes on, first round knockout. Tyson in the 80s, out. The beat is so ill. Rakim murders it. This is probably my favorite Eric B beat. It's almost like the beat reminds me like you're being chased. Like it's fast moving, like someone's chasing you.
Yeah, it's exactly what, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I always interpreted it. And he just fucking rides that so good. And the video, old school, like 20s gangster vibe with Tommy guns, and it's just next level lyrics. I mean, his lyrics in 88 are better than 99% of rappers today. It's so advanced from anything that came before it. The complexity. Follow the Leader is so good. It was number 1 until 2 days ago, but
Sorry to interrupt, but so
no.
Follow the Leader is actually in Who's the Man on the soundtrack, not the CD, but in the actual movie. The song Follow the Leader is in that. I mean, that's kind of the universe works that way. Maybe, I don't know.
I want to watch Who's the Man again. They like become cops, right? Like they join the police academy.
Larry,
Yeah.
it's great.
Roderick, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is what we were just talking about, is Know the Ledge. Okay, so
Hell yeah.
This is another song, just like Raven said, this is another song that he transitioned from the 80s to the 90s, and this was a good one. This was a very good track. I like the beat. I like the horns.
Yeah.
The horns,
Mm-hmm.
the heavy bass throughout. The video had scenes from the movie, which were in color, but he and Eric B were in black and white. Of course, New York, he's got the triple fat goose on, got the hat on, he's got the big chain. He's always had chains. He's always got a chain on. So he really was repping, repping New York. I like the play on words from the hook to the scratch. So when he goes, living life too close to the edge, hoping that I know the ledge. Knowledge, and then knowledge is know the ledge. So I like the way he kept doing that in each verse. But yeah, that is 80s to 90s. Rakim, we saw him differently. He proved himself. He proved that he could still do his thing in the 90s because he started in the 80s. And that was a good song. And by the way, this has I just want to say this. Oh, I want to say two things. One is that song started the movie and ended the movie. So that was a big deal. And the movie itself, because I remember going to see it's when I first moved to the US. I moved into the United States in 1990. When I went to go see that movie with my girl, the ending was whack of that movie. But we're talking about music. So at number 2, Know the Ledge.
You're still bitter about, Bishop dying, or?
You got the juice. Puts out his arm.
Oh, the kid, yeah. No, you got the juice.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if no one's seen Juice, sorry about
that. Sorry, I forgot some of
I'm sorry it didn't end the way you wanted to.
Yo, the whole theater. Hey, listen. The whole theater was mad. It wasn't just me in my seat. It was like everybody. Oh,
that's funny.
I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, I didn't think it wasn't great, but it was like people were not happy about that ending. But the movie itself was good though until that part. But
Raven, what is your number 2?
My number 2 was I went back to 97's 18th letter, and I think that damn, that just it might be like in my top 3 to 5 hip hop albums of all time after this list. It's just listening to it so much, I found I didn't even put anything from his other 2 solos on here, and I didn't even realize that. But I went with Always and Forever, the 18th letter, the track. It's another perfect return track. It's a perfect vibe for his opening. I think Father Shaheed was the one who produced that track, and it was just such a fucking good song. And it sets the tone perfectly for the album. Right after that little intro skit you get, where they're just like, "Hey, welcome back," and then the 18th letter is such a dope fucking song.
And that was an honorable mention. Yeah, it was amazing how well that album held up. Surreal, what's your number 2?
I think we skipped my number 3.
What?
My number 3 was.
Did I?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, no worries.
My bad. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Let the Rhythm Hit Him. Let the Rhythm Hit Him. And then my number 2 is Follow the Leader. Follow the Leader. And I just noticed I have 6 title tracks in my top 10. 18th letter, Don't Sweat the Technique, Paid in Full, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, Follow the Leader. I don't know, there's some trend there, but I mean, a lot of artists don't even have a name of a song as the name of their album, and apparently that's Rakim's thing. I never really put 2 and 2 together until I was looking at it on paper. But yeah, Follow the Leader definitely for all the reasons. The way the beat makes you feel like you're running like the opposite way from Subway or something. So, right. It's real New York.
It is. And Let the Rhythm Hit Him. Yeah, that was an honorable mention. And you're right. All them albums had title tracks that were high quality. Because now I look at my list between honorable mentions and my list. You're right. I have all those. So we are to number 1. Here we are. I will take us to the year 1992. It was on Don't Sweat the Technique, but it was also on the Juice soundtrack. Know the Ledge, Juice, perfection, just perfect. A hip hop head's dream, this song is. That crazy dope beat that Rakim rides so perfectly. The breakdowns are done perfectly. The elements change here and there, small, but they're just done so well. You couldn't ask for anything more from early 90s, East Coast, just real street hip hop. Know the Ledge, best song on the soundtrack and best song in his entire catalog, in my opinion. Man, such a great track. So that was the top of my list. What was the top of yours, Roderik?
All right, top of my list. For some reason, I always wonder if anyone can guess it, but let me just set this up, man. Let me just say it, and then I'll talk about it. So my number 1 is I Ain't No Joke. Now, for me, it's my number 1 is because we know Rakim to be this laid back guy, serious face. Eric B never smiles. I don't even know if he's ever smiled in his life, but these guys are like laid back, easy. This video and what he's saying and how he's saying it, he's like waving his arms. I ain't no joke. And he's talking to you, you know what I'm saying? And he's got the scruffiness. He's got like what Raven has. This is a scruffy beard, man. He just doesn't give, you know what I mean? It's that rough, like just new on the scene. He you know what I mean? He's not even famous yet. He's just like, fuck it, man. I'm here to rap my shit, man. I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks about nothing. So I really like that. And one of the lines I like in that is when he goes, every show you see me in, deep concentration, because I'm no comedian. That's a hard fucking verse right there, man. You know what I mean? And then he says,
Definitely.
when I leave, then you could joke. You know what I mean? Not while I'm here. Shit is serious. You see my face, you see my gold chain, you see my posse, because that's what it was back in the day. You see my posse, the graffiti on the wall, the gold rope chains. I mean, if you look at that video and you look at his face, he's younger, he's hungry, I like it. So that's my favorite. I Ain't No Joke is my number one.
When I was talking about it at 5, I was convincing myself it should have been 1. And if any listeners out there has photographic proof of Eric B. smiling, please send them to us. Raven, what's your number 1?
All right. So number 1, man, DJ Clark Kent produced Guess Who's Back, 1997. It's off the 18th letter. I love the vibe. I love the beat. It's kind of like a bridge between that New York Rakim and what was happening on the radio at the time. And I think DJ Clark Kent really bridged that really well. I don't know. It's one of those like hype ass party tracks for me. I just love that shit.
My number 1 is also Juice, Know the Ledge from the Juice soundtrack.
Yeah.
And we kind of pointed out all the reasons why. But now when I DJ battles, that instrumental is still one, just kind of like a Shook One's Mobb Deep, or even like a Dead Prez, Bigger Than Hip Hop. It's one of those beats where like the whole energy of the room shifts. Like they know, like if you don't spit, if I play that beat and you're not spitting, no thanks. You know, it's just it commands that you just spit bars, even if it's just a battle in a basement. I mean, it just has that presence. It's powerful.
Yeah, I'm glad this song is getting much love as I have for it.
I
Just
wasn't
so
even
damn
sure
good.
anybody was going to put that on their list. So I love that everybody had it.
So such a great song.
Yeah.
Such a great
There was
song.
some like the honorable mentions. I think Mahogany. There was a couple where, I mean, obviously, I think this was a hard list to make.
It was.
It was a really
I
hard
agree.
list to make.
Bro, up until like what, yesterday or the day before, I didn't even include Eric and B and Rakim albums. I thought we were doing only fucking solos. My dumbass didn't think about the fact that those are fucking solos.
It's good
So
we
yeah,
talked about it.
I had to modify this whole shit.
It's good we talked the other day and you're like, wait, we're
Facts.
doing Eric B. I'm like, yeah, Eric B. just produced and DJ. He wasn't
And I'm
rapping.
just like, of course he is. I forgot. Okay.
Well, did you hear about when I read something where Rakim was working with Dr. Dre?
Yeah, he was on Aftermath and then he got shelved. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was supposed to have an
sucks.
album where
Yeah.
Dr. Dre is supposed to produce his album, but I think Rakim said that Dre was trying to change his content.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what Dre,
I
he's
think,
known for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Aftermath and got shelved along with King T in that very
King T,
beginning.
yeah.
I would love to hear all that shit though.
Oh, it would be great to hear that. Multiple artists got shelved in those early Aftermath days.
Fucking
Jeez.
didn't Eve go over there and get shelved on an
Yeah.
album too? Yeah.
Yeah, Eve was signed to Aftermath. She did one song, one single came out, and it was on like the Bulworth soundtrack, I want to say. It was on one of
Oh
those
yeah, I forgot
soundtracks.
about that.
So either
Yeah,
that or Caught Up. Those two soundtracks, it ring a bell.
there were so many in that era, those type of soundtracks. But yeah, he was signed to Aftermath. I think they did the whole record. It just got shelved. All right, honorable mentions. You guys hit a lot of the big ones. The ones that nobody touched on from Paid in Full. I know you got Soul. I was kind of surprised no one brought that song on. From Don't Sweat the Technique, Past the Hand Grenade. From 18th Letter, The Saga Begins. From The Master, All Night Long. From the Seventh Seal, I wanted to represent it to a song called Won't Be Long. Seventh Seal to me sounded like he was trying too much to be like what hip hop was at the time. He's trying to go too far outside of his lines. So Seventh Seal I really didn't care for. And on his newest one from last year, the Rebirth, God's Network, Pendulum Swing, it's got Chino XL and Cannabis in it. Really dope song. What are we missing? I know Surreal said Mahogany.
Yeah, the joint on the new one with was it Daz or Corrupt? That one was kind of got a little bit of love here in the Midwest.
That new one is almost like a compilation. It's just all features.
Yeah.
All
Till
right,
next
man.
time,
Take care,
everyone.
brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Still a b-boy, from the old to the new, still a b-boy. Too bold for the school, still a b-boy. East coast to the west, b-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a b-boy, from the old to the new, still a b-boy. Too bold for the school, still a b-boy. East coast to the west, b-boys worldwide.